Am I streaming? Come on. It's not that hard to pull up my YouTube page. Yes, I am streaming. Alright, today probably going to be shorter stream because literally all we have left to do is the ending of the game. So, yeah. And now we can finally go put Prince Lothric's ashes on his throne. Holy King Lothric, last hope of his line. Also, why are you still here?
Now, infant, come on.
I think he becomes hostile at the end of a Rosaria's Fingers questline. I don't know. But the Firekeeper will be triggered to walk towards the center bonfire.
The five lords sit their 5 thrones, all thanks to thee, most worthy of lords. Ashen One, with the lords as thy witness, bend thy knee before the bonfire's coiled sword, and let the lords' embers acknowledge thee as their true heir, a true lord, fit to link the fire. Ashen One, if thine farewell mayst, Ashen One, a farewell.
Alright, if you have any other souls to transpose, this is your last chance to do it, because as soon as we kneel, all the cinders of the lords and Ludlith will burn away to make way for the kiln of the first flame.
Noble lords of Cinder, the fire fades. And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fires to the true heir. Let him grant death to the old gods of Lordrin, deliverers of the first flame.
And here we are in the kiln of the first flame. Final bonfire of the game, and we're in yet another version of Firelink Shrine. And yeah, you can leave once you're here, but there's not much else to do besides go and fight the final boss. But yeah, this is the 3rd version of Firelink Shrine. There's not really much here though. believe there is a bonfire here that will take you to the Dreg Heap. So you can, I think you can skip over Ashes of Ariandel if you don't want to do it. Yeah, it's right here. This will, this says proceed to the first flame. Oh wait, no, hang on. But yeah, we're basically in the Dreg Heap again here. Just another part of it. Because this is like literally the same view. It's just we're in a different part of the Dreg Heap. But yeah, proceed to the first flame. And here we are. This is the final bonfire. But yeah, if you didn't want to play Ashes of Ariandel and you have the Ringed City, you can use this bonfire to travel to the Dreg Heap. And if you really want, you could summon Londor Paleshade. I think you can also summon Uria if you're going for the ending I am, at least. Yeah, here's her sign. So, and the boss that awaits us up ahead is the Soul of Cinder. The Soul of Cinder is the incarnation of everyone who has ever linked the first flame. This includes our player character from Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. Every single Lord of Cinder amalgamized into one incarnation to test our mettle. Change fighting styles too. There's sword, staff. I think he can switch to a dex build as well. himself takes control. And that's it. That fight didn't go very well. And I kind of fumbled a lot during that fight. But yeah, the Soul of Cinder is the amalgamation of every single Lord of Cinder, and then at the end, Gwyn takes control. And then now we have a few choices. We can link the first flame, or summon the Firekeeper for the end of fire. For the usurpation of fire, we just have to select link the first flame, and then we'll usurp it. So, let's just go over the endings real quick. Alright. Alright, to link the first flame, this is the default ending for Dark Souls 3. Fulfilling the purpose for which they were brought back to life, the Ashen One links the first flame and becomes a Lord of Cinder. The flame connects with their body, slowly setting them ablaze as they sit beside the bonfire. Although in theory this leads to a continuation of the once glorious Age of Fire, this linking of the flame is but a shadow of the linking that can be performed in Dark Souls 1, echoing the significant weakening of the first flame and the stagnation of the world. Instead of engulfing the kiln into an explosive blaze of fire, instead a weak blaze barely covers the body of the Ashen One. The world remains dim and covered in ash, with the sun still obscured by a fire-dripping eclipse that resembles the dark sign of the undead. Further exemplifying that this prolonged Age of Fire will pale when compared to days of old. The end of fire, interacting with the bonfire, which summoning the Firekeeper, would have hang on. Summoning the Firekeeper would have her finally extinguish the first flame, and the Age of Fire finally ends in place of the Age of Dark. Although the world has now entered the long-postponed Age of Dark, which would have naturally succeeded fire had Lord Gwyn not started the tradition of linking the first flame. The shape that the Age of Dark remains unclear. And then, to take the first flame, you summon the Firekeeper and kill her, and you take the flame's power for yourself. And finally, the Usurpation of Fire. Widely regarded to be probably the best ending of Dark Souls 3. The Ashen One stretches out their hand, and the first flame slowly sets their body ablaze from within. The strain from assimilating the flame makes them collapse on the ground. An indefinite amount of time later, the Ashen One rises again, having successfully controlled the power of the flame within themselves. The sun, obscured by a light-dripping eclipse that resembles the dark sigil, follows the movements of the Ashen One, indicating that the flame lives within them while the world is shrouded in a patina of darkness and time stands still. Greeting their new lord are Yuria and her sister Lelaine of the Sable Church of Londor, who kneel in veneration. Behind them are dozens of Hollows who are prostrated in prayer, adoring their long-awaited Lord of Hollows. The Lord then sets out into the world, with the powers of both fire and dark under their control. Although both were previously shown to have died, the Ashen One's spouse Henri is present, and the old woman of Londor's voice can be heard, inviting the Ashen One to make Londor whole. The Usurpation of Fire is widely regarded to be the best ending in Dark Souls 3. Because instead of serving the flame or putting it out, doing the cycle bullshit over and over again, like in Dark Souls 3, we absorb its power and we become the Lord of Hollows, and we usher in an age where humanity, rather than the gods, rules the world and is in charge of their own destiny. We effectively end the undead curse, and we have humanity at the top, making our own decisions for the first time in thousands, maybe millions of years. So it says link the first flame here, but we have done everything necessary for the Usurpation of Fire. And that was Dark Souls 3, completing the trilogy. I think Dark Souls 3 is the best game in the Dark Souls trilogy. Dark Souls 1, very close behind it. And Dark Souls 2 is obviously at the bottom. It's not bad, but it's at the bottom. Dark Souls 3 really stepped it up in quality. Amazing boss fights. There's only like 2 boss fights in the game I think are bad. Ancient Wyvern, probably, and Curse Rotted Greatwood. And Half-Light, I guess. But the rest of the bosses are awesome. This game took a massive step forward in quality. And there's a lot of references to Dark Souls 1, and I know a lot of people get tired of that, but it's for, I guess, as long as they have a lore reason for it, I'm okay with it. Because Dark Souls 3, the lore is literally that the world is falling apart on itself. And it's going back to the very beginning of the Age of Fire, and the very beginning of the Age of Fire centered around Lord Dran. So it kind of makes sense. This technically isn't the end of Dark Souls. What is technically the end of Dark Souls is Slave Knight Gale. That's like the very, very, very end. Oh yeah, that was Dark Souls. So next probably is Bloodborne. I think I might start it tonight. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock, so yeah, I might start Bloodborne tonight. I don't know, depends on how I feel, but yeah, we got 3 more games left in the Soulsborne series. We've got Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. And, well, yeah, we're excluding Demon Souls, because like I said before, yeah, I don't really want to play Demon Souls again. Alright, and it'll ask you to begin Journey 2. I'm just gonna say no, because there's like one more thing that's important for a Platinum playthrough to do. Back at Firelink. And I did say earlier that this was your last chance to transpose before doing the final boss, but you can still transpose at Bloodless Ashes, and you get the Skull Ring as well, and you can trade the Soul of the Lords for the Sunlight Spear or Firelink Greatsword. And you can also go to the Handmaid. And she will have the Firelink set now that you've killed the Soul of Cinder. Right? Where is it? Yeah, Firelink set. And that's the signature armor of Dark Souls 3. Is Yuria still there? Yeah, she's still there.
Ah, 'twas the soul Elfrida. A poor wench if thou wouldst, and in return remember those who... And lastly, my lord.
Oh Lord, I pray when the moment cometh, the our honourable Yusuf.
Alright, that is Dark Souls 3. We are done. So yeah, next is Bloodborne. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, time to say goodbye to Dark Souls 3. I also had no intention of, I didn't even mean to do this in 12 parts like I did Dark Souls 2. It just happened. Whoops. Anyway, goodbye.